Well, hey, y'all. Okay, first of all, let me apologize for the glare. I noticed that off my glasses. Nothing I can do about it because if I take them off, I'm blind as a bat. So I'll try and keep my head down a little bit. What the fuck? Okay, you got this couple up there in East St. Louis or wherever that come out of their house with guns because people done broke on their property. Now they're being prosecuted, charged. Okay, let me just state this from my viewpoint. If I have a fence and a gate that's closed up and property that's posted no trespassing, and you bring your ass on my property and you make me feel threatened for my life or the safety, well being of my property, yeah, I'm going to respond. I don't think they did a damn thing wrong. I think they could have done it a little better. I think they were trying to make a point. I'm sure they wanted a little notoriety, but I don't think they done a damn thing illegal. And I think that's where it's going to be showed out in the end. Uh, Charging them was just, well, there's no other way to put it. It's an exercise in legal masturbation. Uh, to convict them, you're going to have 12 jurors that all agreed that they were wrong. And you're never going to get that happen because unless you can put 12 pro Antifa, Black Lives Matters snowflakes on the jury, you're going to have one that's going to say not guilty. So we're looking at a hung jury over and over, mistrial over and over. So why do it? Well, because they got to pacify the liberals that are just so upset that these people dared to come out of their house with guns and threaten peaceful protesters. No, you want to be a peaceful protester? You want to do civil disobedience? Go down, block the door of the courthouse or whatever, and get arrested. When you bring your ass on private, posted, gated, fenced off property and you're yelling and screaming shit at people in their house, you cease to be a peaceful protester. You are now a threat and a criminal. And they got the right to be protected. I would have done it a little different. I would have let those people know, hey, I know you're here. You need to leave. And I got a gun. I'm not going to be outside waving it in the air or getting my picture took, but you're going to know I got a gun. I'll let you know. So while they could have done it different, they didn't do nothing illegal. And then you got these people out in California wanting to charge them with a hate crime because somebody put a Black Lives Matter sign on their property. And they dared to go out there and mark out the black and put all in its place. Now they're being charged with a hate crime. You put the sign on their fucking property. You didn't ask their permission. Therefore, you put a sign on my property without my permission. Hey, guess what? That's my sign. I myself would have just went out there and took it down and thrown it in the trash. But it's my sign now, so I'll do what I want with it. It has nothing to do with a hate crime. Well, they could have just took it down. They didn't have to deface. Oh, they can't mark out black and put all because they can't deface your sign. But it's all right for you to go and spray paint the state house, or put graffiti on monuments and statues and public buildings. That's all right, though. What the fuck? What time are we living in now? You got these it was last week or week before down there in the state park at Stone Mountain, Georgia. You got dozens of heavily armed, combat gear wearing, primarily black men intimidating and threatening tourists with semi-automatic weapons. Really? Georgia National Guard need to roll down there with some armor and some armored vehicles and tell them about one time, put your guns down, lay flat on your bellies, you're all under arrest. And if they don't, blow their ass away and be done with it. What the fuck? What is going on that we're allowing this? These are the same people that are supporting this are the ones who just 6 months ago were crying and screaming about why do people need fully automatic or semi-automatic assault rifles? Well, we've got too many guns, but now it's all right because they're in your camp for them to run around heavily armed in combat gear and camo. Really? Really? Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. I never did like George Bush II. Sure didn't like Dick Cheney. But I kind of miss them in a way because after 9/11 and up till 2008, if this shit had been going on and these heavily armed people with black ski masks and semi-automatic weapons that have been running around public places, that shit would have been stamped out real quick. And they would have been loaded up and sent to Guantanamo as terrorists, domestic terrorists. That shit wouldn't have flew. And I blame Obama for a lot of that because he got real soft. He went completely opposite just to show that he wasn't George Bush. And he went a little bit too far the other way. I agree they should have shut Guantanamo down. We shouldn't be waterboarding people. But now we went completely too far. We're letting them get by with it. The same people now that say, well, it's all right that those dozens of heavily armed black men were roaming Stone Mountain National Park, intimidating, coming up to windows. You owe us reparations for slavery. Okay, let me say this right now. I have never owned a slave. I don't know anyone that's ever owned a slave. I doubt my family ever owned slaves. Know for a fact they didn't. They were poor motherfuckers like me. I owe no black person in this country anything for slavery. I owe you nothing but the respect you earn as a decent human being. I will give you 100% of that. I will give you common decency that you earn as a human being. I don't owe you no reparations. But the same people that are supporting these people running around with their guns and their combat gear are the same ones that 3 months ago were horrified at the conservative right-wing guys that were showing up at the Michigan State House fully armed, protesting the governor of Michigan closing the government down, closing the state down for COVID. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. They shouldn't be. I griped about it because I didn't think it was right. But I don't think this shit's right neither. Folks, we better get some common sense, and we better sit down, put the guns away, put the rhetoric away, stop the looting, stop the rioting, stop acting like a bunch of little kids. Let's solve the problem. Let's straighten the shit out. Because if we don't, it is a matter of time before you're going to have one group show up at a place fully armed and the group on the opposite spectrum showing up at the same place fully armed. And then what you're going to have is something that's going to make the little bighorn look like a fucking water balloon fight between kindergarten kids. People are going to get killed. People are going to get injured. It's not going to be good. And let me give my friends who are liberal, anti-Trump folks a little something to think about. When we get to that point and that happens, the only person in this country, the only people in this country that will gain benefit from that anarchy and chaos will be Donald Trump and the top echelon that supports Donald Trump. Think about that. No one else is going to benefit. Black people are not going to benefit from a race war. White people are not going to benefit from a race war. Hispanics, Native Americans, Asians, none of us will benefit from what we are moving towards. These people up there, yeah, they could have done it different, but they're not going to be convicted. They're lawyers and they're smart. They know they didn't break the law. This is political patty cake, for lack of a better word. We need to stop worrying about placating, however you would say it, individual groups and views. We need to find a solution before we end up in a domestic war with Americans fighting Americans in heavy combat. It's working that way. It's going that way towards it. People are scared. They're arming themselves. They're bound and determined to protect themselves and their property. And they will do so. And once the first occurrence happens, where dozens of people are killed and injured, we won't be able to stop it. It will escalate out of control. So what the fuck? Let's just straighten up and act right. I'm Uncle Frank. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless America. And God help us, because we need all the help we can get.